former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence is doubling down on his criticism of his former boss. He spoke at length about the new indictment of former President Donald Trump at the Indiana State Fair earlier this week. News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist was there.
Pence has made his role on January 6th a key part of his presidential campaign since he launched it 2 months ago. But in a news conference less than a day after Trump was indicted for trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election, Pence stopped just short of endorsing the charges.
With regard to the substance of the indictment, I've been very clear. I had hoped it wouldn't come to this. I had hoped that this issue and the judgment of the president's actions that day would be left to the American people. But now it's been brought in a criminal indictment, and I can't assess whether or not the government has the evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt what they assert in the indictment, and the president's entitled to a presumption of innocence. But for my part, I want people to know that I had no right to overturn the election, and that what the president maintained that day, and frankly has said over and over again over the last 2.5 years, is completely false. And it's contrary to what our Constitution and the laws of this country provide. You know, I'm a student of American history. And the first time I heard in early December somebody suggest that as vice president I might be able to decide which votes to reject and which to accept, I knew that it was false. Our founders had just won a war against a king. And the last thing they would have done was vest unilateral authority in any one person to decide who would be the next president. I dismissed it out of hand, but sadly, the president was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear.
You can hear much more of Pence's remarks on the indictment, as well as about the status of his own campaign, this Sunday on All Indiana Politics. It airs at 9:30 in the morning, right here on Wish TV. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.